Good morning. I'm Autumn the Fox, and I'm making this video because a few friends of mine told me that they'd like a video where I just ramble about things that I enjoy, or my thoughts, or whatever. I thought it would be nice to set it with some rain. It's fall time, and that's when I like the rain the most, I think, because it elicits this smell, this pleasant scent that plays nicely with the way that the rain hits the window pane, and it's a kind of white noise that can really help you relax and focus. I find that as a person with ADHD, I actually use rain sounds to focus a lot. It helps put me at ease. It's that constant stimulus, the not exactly repetitive noise, but random noise that sort of lulls you into a flow state or into a relaxed state. It really helps me sleep. That's something that I'm actually really happy I can help people with, is that I know that a lot of people have trouble sleeping, and they watch videos like these because it helps them get some rest. And as someone with insomnia, there's no greater joy than helping someone else get some rest, knowing that they're doing well, they're relaxing, they're drifting off. That's why I made the relaxation video. I'm probably gonna redo that video at some point with visuals, because I find that making these videos in VRChat has actually been pretty fun. I was nervous at first because, well, it almost feels like acting, but it's not exactly acting, because I just get to be myself the whole way through. Though, with the evil scientist bit, that was definitely experimental. That's actually a character from some things that I do with people in VRChat. I thought it would be nice to release it around Halloween, mostly for them, but it turned out that people really enjoyed it, so I might bring them back, especially with those themes of change. It seems that people like cybernetics and genetic modifications. Who knew? But that's how I learned that I really do enjoy making this kind of content. Another reason that I decided to make this video was so that people don't think I'm just the purple autumn. I want people to know who I am, what I'm like, the kinds of things I want to make, and the kinds of things I like to look at and listen to. I do listen to ASMR content. It's something that helps me sleep, really. Usually it's the sound of rain, or I really like the tapping stuff. Though I'm still working out how to record that well. It's been really fun, honestly. The experimentation, the exposure, putting yourself out there is kind of scary, You can, it's vulnerable. It's a vulnerability, and to make yourself vulnerable to so many people is, it takes a lot of courage and bravery, and a kind of confidence that I think the more you do it, the better you get at it. So here we are. Now, this video is supposed to be me rambling so that you can get to know me better and I can give people a soft, sweet voice to lull themselves to sleep with or relax while they work. I find that people do well when they have a parallel to them to get things done or to relax to while they're reading or watching something or drawing. It helps them feel like someone's there or they're not quite alone, and that can help you motivate yourself, feel at ease. It's quite an interesting phenomenon, actually. My area of study is psychology, though that's not how I learned how to do relaxation. The relaxation video was very special to me because I learned from a very young age to do sort of Tibetan meditation because my mother was very into Buddhism at the time, but I ended up reading all the books, especially on meditation. When you have insomnia, when you can't sleep, or you're restless, or you have anxiety, meditation is a godsend. There's nothing better, except, therapy and a doctor and all that, but it all comes together. So I thought I could help people by teaching them and giving them guidance to relax. And it's not exactly meditation because I haven't done anything with imagery or specific breathing techniques or the way that you're supposed to think. So I think for my next video, I'm probably going to do a more intense meditation. Now, when I say intense, it's not exciting. It's actually more relaxing because relaxation is, in a way, work. Oddly enough, it's hard to learn how to do. And I'd like to teach more people how to do it. So maybe look out for another relaxation or meditation video. If you have any preferences for that kind of thing, or ideas, or even a desire for guided imagery, like walking through a forest, or going to the beach, or sitting at home during the rain, maybe I can do something like that. Though the next video will probably be more general. I'd also like to know if people use it more for sleep or just relaxation. A few of my friends and some people that reached out to me told me that my few videos really did help them sleep. Even the one where I'm an evil scientist, which is very amusing to me. I thought it would be at least a little spooky or scary, but, well, I thought it was really fun in many ways, too. More about me, if I can think of it. I write. I like to write. Everything from epic little stories to science fiction, fantasy. I like writing short stories mostly because they're fun, self-contained, low pressure. I've never written a book, but I guess everyone would like to that is an aspiring writer. Writing has been a natural thing for me since I was really small. I started reading really early on, and I wanted to make things like the stories I was reading, and I always had flights of fancy. So there I was, scribbling and scribbling about nonsense, dragons and heroes and magic and wizards. So many wizards. And of course, they were all anthropomorphic. I'm definitely a furry to the core. Actually, I remember the very first VHS that we had that stuck around was Robin Hood from Disney, so maybe it's a cognito hazard. It's nice to revisit those memories. It's good to think back into the past when you can at the good things. They help you make assessments of the now and reassess your situation to understand where you've been, where you are now, where you could go, and what it took to get to the present. It helps keep you grounded. It helps to alleviate stress, even, if you can remember the good things. Not to say that it's always good to remember everything in the past. I think we forget for a reason, but I'm not an expert yet, so take my words with a grain of salt. I decided to be a fox quite a few years ago now. The name Autumn is relatively new. I've gone by a billion names, just absolutely a billion names. But Autumn has stuck around. I decided to be a fox after many years as a furry because, well, I love them, and for a long time I thought it was just too generic or not creative enough, or there's already so many of them. But at some point, you learn to just be what you love. Being what you love is so important. There's no reason to limit yourself with harmless things like that, or to think too deeply about what others think of you when it comes to choices like that. Though I still have a love for all my personas. Originally, I was an otter, actually. I was beige and tan, and I had blonde hair, and, well, it was just teenager me, really. I wrote many edgy little stories about that version of me, and eventually it didn't fit me anymore. I was also a hyena at the same time, and that's a character that followed me forever. They're still here. Maybe you might see them at some point on this channel if I decide to act them out. I have some ideas for that, the kinds of sound effects I could make. Mostly clinking, crystal tapping sounds, that sort of thing. Maybe I could do weapon maintenance, but I'm getting ahead of myself. They were a very important character to me. The personas can really help you sort through your emotions. For instance, I put all of my negative feelings into him and gave him similar problems to mine, but in epic fantasy ways, so that he could solve them, and that way I could feel like I could solve my smaller problems in the real world. That was a very positive method of recontextualizing and reframing my issues. So when people talk about their personas and their characters, they're not always just for fun. They can help us see things about ourselves and explore. I did a lot of exploring before I got to Fox. After Hyena, what was it after Hyena? I was a Shiba Inu for a long time. Bright yellow, very bouncy, a short stack, really. We were very thick. And that was fun for a long time. And then at some point, I became a red panda because I had these 12 red panda characters that were all clones of each other. I like to write science fiction, and I had a fascination with clone stories at the time. And I wanted to be one of them, but I didn't want to put too much of a human element into them, if I can put it that way. I didn't want to... I didn't want my red pandas to be seen the way I want to be seen. So I created a bigger version of them that was more like me. And I became like the big one because they're all short little guys. And for a long time, that really matched me. But at some point, I went to MFF, actually, the FurCon, and seeing everyone and doing all these things, having fun and being themselves. I talked to, I think, a vendor in the dealer's den, and they kind of helped me to realize that I could just be a fox. I was like, I should just be a fox. I talked to my boyfriend, I should be a fox. I should just be a fox. And I went and I got a ref sheet, and ever since then I've been a fox. It got a little more serious after a couple years of being a fox. Originally, my design looked a lot like human me, but then I started making it more and more animal, until we have what we've got here. Though this isn't an exact match. It's pretty close, though. So, yeah, that was the rough version of my persona journey. Oh, I forgot. I was also a raccoon and a ferret. Yeah, the ferret was very serious, and the raccoon was the not-so-serious version of me. Very toony, very, rambunctious. Now I've taken all those pieces of myself and wrapped them up into all of this, and I can just be me. There's nothing better than just being yourself. What else can I say? I like games. I play a lot of Deadlock. I play a lot of RPGs, and on a really good day, I play a little Dwarf Fortress, that kind of thing. My favorite games are definitely RPGs and skill-based games like twitch shooters and difficult platformers. My favorite PC game of all time is probably Cave Story. Cave Story is a wonderful game. Great pacing. Wonderful little characters. Wonderful little world, however sad it can be. I think that the game that touched me the most in recent years, though, is Ori and the Blind Forest, and its sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Those games made me cry a lot. I think of games as an art form, and I ingest them as I would any other art. Videos on this channel, mostly going to stick to ASMR content, whispering, talking softly, giving people something to relax to, that sort of thing. That's what I like making for people, and if they enjoy it, all the better. I don't think I'll be uploading anything where I play games or create things or anything like that. I'd rather just keep this channel to sound stuff. The music that I've been putting in my videos, I've been getting from royalty-free sites, Creative Commons Zero licenses, so that I'm not infringing any copyright. I'd like to include music that my friends make. I'll shout them out when I can, because I have some talented musician friends and I want the world to see them. The main goal of this channel is to help you relax. Hopefully this video itself is helping you relax. It's mostly here just for me to ramble. I really think I said it before, but I just don't want people to think that it's all gonna be scary purple fox. I want them to know me too. So here I am rambling about nothing. I could talk about technology, things I like. I really been using computers for a very long time. When I was young, my father was a computer programmer, so we had DOS in the living room since I could even remember anything. I remember my first game was Dragon Slayer on DOS. It was quite an interesting thing to play. Basically one giant QuickTime event, one after the other, but it was beautifully animated by Don Bluth, and so it's stuck in my mind basically forever. So because of that, I've always been on the internet as well, and I've always been part of the furry community since I was very young. Mostly in, of course, youth spaces before I became an adult. And this community is really wonderful. I want to make things for the furry fandom. I want to contribute to our beautiful subculture and help people feel good about themselves and relax and see things that make them feel seen and that they can relate to. I know myself, I really prefer furry content. I prefer to see anthropomorphic characters, personas. It's just what I enjoy. I like foxes and other things. Making the ASMR has been really fun. I remember when I made the coffee video, someone actually messaged me asking where I got the sound effect for the coffee grinding, but I made it myself. I really do like making coffee. I ended up getting my grinder, actually grinding the beans, pouring it in. I really made coffee in that video. I drank it afterward, though I made it quite a few times because I had to do so many retakes. Don't worry, I shared the coffee with my roommates, so there's no waste. I even got a kettle. I really boiled water and recorded it, and that surprised a couple of my friends that I was actually making those sound effects. Learning how to make sound effects has been a really fun journey. I'm still really new to this, but I really enjoy it. It's really nice. This is gonna be my 4th video. It's pretty nerve-wracking, actually. The thought of making a video where I just talk and talk and talk aimlessly almost, maybe I should have written a script. But no, all of this has been completely ad-libbed. Actually, every single video that I've made has been completely ad-libbed. I don't write scripts, and I don't typically know how to write scripts at all. I'm a fiction writer, not a screenplay writer. Maybe in the future I'll have more focused videos, but for now, I kind of like the improvisation is fun. It challenges you, and I think it makes for some good listening, and it feels more real to me. At the very least, making believable, real dialogue, the way that we talk to people, it should flow naturally, and I hope that I can achieve that. Today I woke up pretty early. I actually woke to the sound of piano because one of my roommates was also up way too early and didn't realize how loud they had set their synthesizer, so I thought it was my alarm. It sounded like one of those default alarms that you hear from your phone. And I got up and made a breakfast sandwich and then kind of thought about making this video. So here I am now. I do everything for this via, I use VRChat to record. OBS is taking the video. For sound, I have a nice Naum SE electronics microphone. In the future, I'd like to get something more specialized for ASMR, but for now, this is perfectly fine. I use a Valve Index for the virtual reality, which gives me some finger movement, but as you can see, this thumb doesn't always work. There's trade-offs. It's been amazing how technology has been changing over the years. Virtual reality was like a pipe dream to me when I was 15, and as soon as I approached adulthood, the Oculus Rift came along. Now we have several kinds of headsets, and people are doing amazing things in virtual reality. They're exercising, creating beautiful worlds, real socializing in virtual reality. It was very fortunate that I had a headset in 2019 for reasons I'm sure we all know. It helped me meet so many wonderful people and even sort my life out. I probably never would have gotten treated for ADHD if I never had VRChat, which is kind of funny, actually. It was people from this platform that encouraged me to get a diagnosis and medication and treatment, and now I'm doing all kinds of projects. I probably wouldn't be making this video if I hadn't met those people. Well, definitely wouldn't have been. Motivation is a funny thing, but it's easy to be motivated if you know that people will feel good about it and appreciate it and get something from it. Because it's not all about me, the person making the video. It's also about the people that I can reach out to and help in some way, or make feel good, or relax, or whatever else. It's just nice to give back to the community, to produce things that help make our our subculture bigger in some way, more vibrant, because all of these things, the drawings, the animations, the ephemera like shirts and wallets, the paintings and the conventions, the meets, the people, they don't happen unless we try to make them happen. Books don't happen unless we make them happen. We've made this subculture all on our own, and that makes it so beautiful. We have this shared mythology that transcends anything that the world has really seen. Most fandoms are based on media properties, but this subculture is based on ourselves. And I can never get over how lucky I feel to be able to do things like this, to be able to talk to you, to put myself out there, to explore my identity, and to see the things other people make. I was encouraged by other people who make ASMR to make this video, to hear my voice. They want to, and it feels good to be wanted. So make sure that you make someone else feel wanted in your life too. It's hard to know what else to talk about. I could say that fall is my favorite season. It really, really is. I love the crunchy leaves and the cool air. You can finally turn off the air conditioner in September and November. It becomes so crisp. Sometimes there's snow, and sometimes there's rain, and it just feels so pleasant. There's no overbearing heat, but it's not too cold, and you can still bundle up with blankets, which is just nice. I have like 10 plushes sitting on my bed. They all get wrapped up in the blankets too. It's nice to be cozy. Your environment really changes how you interact with the world, so curating your space to match how you want to feel is a real strategy that you can use. I still feel a little silly just staring into the camera and speaking without much care for what I say or what I'm doing, though I am trying to keep my voice nice and low and not too fast, because I am a fast speaker. But believe it or not, this is me whispering. I have a very loud voice, so it's nice for people to say that they enjoy it. I guess, in a way, this video is a multi-part thing. It's me trying to give people a nice, calming voice to relax to. Maybe you're listening to me. Maybe I'm background noise. Either way, I'm happy. It's also me saying who I am, giving you an idea of the kind of person that is behind the model and the camera and the microphone. And a little bit of what you might expect in the future. The next video will, as I said, definitely be a meditation video. After that, I'd like to make some stuff with like tapping, that kind of thing. I want to see how I can make it feel like you're being pet or scratched, because as a fox, I know it feels nice to be pet and scratched. I'd like to make another video with Evil Purple Autumn, because that seemed fun. I want to see how I can make people really feel like they're being experimented on or observed, or they've undergone some kind of mad science, or even more regular stuff like getting cybernetic implants, that kind of roleplay type thing. Science fiction and cyberpunk is important to me because for a long time I was a transhumanist. I wanted to exceed my humanity. These days I feel differently about my place in the cosmos, who I am, what my body means, but I would still like to make changes to myself if I could. I think that that's a fun fantasy that a lot of people have. It would be nice to look like a fox. It would be nice to try out what it is like to be reptilian, a dragon, for instance. Hey, dragon could be a good idea. Something with a dragon. I guess I should be writing this stuff down, but I don't have my notebook on me. Though, that is the beauty of recording all of this audio. I guess I can look back at it and get the ideas out that way. Hey, how come furries always have this, hair poof? You feel so bald without it. On my ref sheet, I don't have this thing, but when I'm in VR, if I don't have it, I feel bald. So I always keep it on. It's one of those little trends, little traits that furries all have. What are other little traits furries have? I see that the little tufts on ears thing has been kind of picking up a bit, though. Maybe that's just the Vulper. Ear fluff, cheek scruff. People like having manes. People like having that neck ruff, the neck fluff. I've been seeing a lot more piercings in the fandom. I actually have a nose ring myself, just not on the model for poly count reasons. There's a lot of protogens these days, and I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I love androids, synths, automatons in general are one of my favorite things. I would love to do some videos with automatons as the main focus. A friend of mine wants me to do some repair of protogens or synths. It makes you feel good to get that kind of attention. I've watched a few of those and it is nice, so I'd like to take a crack at it. I think that synthetic beings are such a wonderful concept. They tell us so much about ourselves because when we create stories, when we think about what it would be like to be a synthetic being, we're basically thinking about how we would treat a synthetic being, and it becomes a reflection on ourselves. We introspect by putting ourselves in the shoes of something different. And in a way, I can relate to a lot of machines. I know what it's like to be different, and a machine is quite different, you know. A machine experiences the world very differently, at least in fiction. Characters like Data, for instance, they're misunderstood by everyone around them. So, in order to fit into the world, he has to learn to understand them, so that he's not misunderstood in his meaning when he speaks and acts. I kind of know what that's like. And I think a lot of people do. To be a machine, to be a protogen or a synth is not just an empowerment fantasy, but it's also an exercise of recognizing that not all humans are exactly the same. We think differently. And it can give you that freedom to think differently, to act differently when you're a synthetic being. And that's beautiful. That's another part of the fandom that I really love, is the identity exploration that comes from the types of beings we can be. I woke up quite early, so I'm pretty tired. I'm not sure how much longer I can go for this video. Maybe I'll be taking a nap myself. But it's been nice chatting about everything. Next week, I'd like to release the meditation video, a little more focused, and in VR. I want to be able to give a visual focus for people to look at. I'm not talking about spirals or pendulums or anything like that. I just want to give people someone to see so that they can feel like there's a presence and help let that presence pull them into a state of relaxation. That's my idea anyway. It was nice to make this video. I hope you learned a little about me and what to expect from the channel going forward. I know that it's very early, a very young channel, but I'm not going to stop making this stuff. And so I want people to understand me, know who I am, and also that I'm not always going to be an evil scientist fox, however fun that is. And it is fun, trust me. But I want them to know that I'm also just a regular fox. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope that hearing me ramble has helped set you at ease, or relax, or given you some kind of background noise, whether or not you listen to what I said. And I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope that you are productive, or that you get to relax, or have fun. No matter what the day holds for you, I hope that it's lovely and rewarding and everything that you need and want it to be. Take care, and please remember to be kind to yourself, to be kind to others.